Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Just Yappin. We have not done one of these. Well, we dropped them last week. It just feels like we don't do these as often as we should.
Never get around to them.
It's a nice Roots of Fight Savage shirt you got there. Where'd you get that from?
I don't know, just showed up in front of my door.
Just a funny door. So they sent me another one that's a little bit of a different color. I'm wearing it right here.
It's actually a really comfortable shirt though.
They're comfortable.
Yeah, the
I
material's nice.
The t-shirts fit on me weird. But the hoodies
If you're fat.
and the pants, I mean, that's honestly the reason why.
Yeah.
That's literally the
hide.
reason why. It's because I got a TED and stuff. And I think they're more slim fitting for like muscular guys.
I'm pretty skinny, but
Yeah, but
if
skinny.
that's a compliment.
Skinny though.
Yeah. What's skinny?
Skinny. You're just skinny.
Isn't that Kim Kardashian's like underwear?
You're not wearing Skims. Are you wearing Skims under that shirt?
No, I hope
Is that
not.
why you look extra skinny?
Yeah.
Like a corset?
Yeah, because of Kim Kardashian.
Because of Kim Kardashian, eh? So what are we going to yap about, man? You want to talk about Ovechkin? You want to talk about... Our goal here is not to talk about wrestling too much.
It's really hard.
Right? It's really
'Cause
hard.
that's all we do.
And like we were talking about, I'm like, this show's hard because we want to come on and just talk about things, but it's really hard like to not talk about wrestling. Because like the first episode we talked about my trip to Elimination Chamber. So
Yeah, that was
easy.
wrestling. We didn't talk about wrestling the other two episodes.
No, there's
How
only
many
one
did we-
other episode. And the other
We've only done two?
We've only done two. And then the other episode we talked about the Junos and AI.
Oh,
Which now
yeah.
everyone's making AI action figures. And people aren't complaining as much.
The water that's
You know
being
what's
wasted.
no, but it's crazy. Like people aren't complaining so much about the AI action figures than they were about the AI cartoons, because I think cartoonists were getting mad, actual artists were getting mad. Then they're like, "Oh, I can't do this action figure stuff. That's okay." I don't know.
People's choice.
People's choice.
Got a lot of whites now, eh?
Yeah, I know what happened. Do you? Oh, I guess you don't. But I actually dye my beard. I don't think it's a secret.
I'm
though.
nothing to die. I'm still young.
I think it's well, you're older than me. I think it's a secret. It's not a secret because like sometimes there's whites and sometimes there isn't. So
Your hair's gotten longer now too.
I told you that's why I got a cut because it's eventually just gonna go back,
Yeah.
and it goes back fast because I'm not balding.
But you don't watch sports, sorry. Did you watch Ovechkin score his?
I watch highlights. I grew up watching hockey and a little bit of basketball. Didn't ever really watch football or any of that. And then I went through a phase where every night I would fall asleep to, because I used to have to fall asleep with the TV on. Now I usually fall asleep to a podcast. In 95% of the time, 95% of the time, it's Jim Cornette. But
All wrestling.
outside
What were
of-
you falling asleep to? Sportsnet?
I used to fall asleep
TSN?
to two things: sports highlights
Okay.
or the Food Network. And,
I'm a background noise guy too.
Yeah.
I need something to listen to before going to sleep.
and then when the network came out, I used to fall asleep to old WCW and WWF, like 80s, 90s stuff. I could fall asleep to it. There's something about like hearing it and make me feel like a kid again, and then just like falling asleep to it.
So did you watch the Ovechkin goal? I guess I'm sure. You're in social media.
No, I
anyways.
saw it,
Saw
and,
the-
and that's the thing now too. I do follow sports now. I do follow TSN, and I follow like the sports. I follow the NHL, right? On Instagram and stuff. So I see stuff.
NBA?
No, I might follow NBA. I follow NBA on TNT. I probably still follow because I used to actually enjoy that show. Like when I started the TWC show, that's what I wanted it to be like. When I tried getting
Shaq, Charles.
yeah,
Ernie,
like when I
and,
tried getting 4 people on. At one point, it was me, Daniel, Tim, Han Rivera, who does Subway Mania, and King Coley, who does Title Tuesday and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is like a pretty good vibe. If you're a real OG, you remember the episodes I did with like Ankit and Intense and like Devin. Like I tried to get a panel, and like it was always fun having like 4 people banter off each other and
You
stuff.
shitting on me right now?
I'm not shitting on you.
Not
I'm
fun
just
to
saying.
sit and talk to?
I just
Guy
say what-
comes to my house, eats my food, drinks my water.
I give you
juice.
free merchandise. I bring you Prime.
Yeah,
I
compensate.
play with your children, not just children. The man has 3 of them. The baby gets neglected. I go pick him up.
Just made me feel like I'm like second-class citizen in this podcast life.
No,
right?
we just started, but like if we do get my brother-in-law on the next Just Yappin, then you will see when there's more people and how it's a little bit more fun sometimes.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know what I
Plus,
mean?
if you see each other too much.
The more the merrier. Yeah, I feel like this is hard too, which is weird that it's hard, is because we talk so much about an array of things all the time, and then now that we have to
The
do
most
this,
interesting conversations happen off camera.
off camera.
And then we can't.
But
technically
how
record some
much
of
do
it.
you feel is because there's certain things you just don't want to say on camera that we talk about?
About 99% of
Because
it.
we've had like some serious conversations about politics and religions, specifically our religion a lot, and other things, and like we don't feel comfortable enough saying this on here yet. We haven't passed that like the
Because
threshold of like
we don't know what people are gonna accept. Like I feel like you got to pick a side. I'm not ready to pick a side yet.
like a lot of our off-camera conversations are conversations like we can have. And there's another thing between you and I, because like as similar as we are in things that we similarly like. Like we both like wrestling, we both like pizza, we like certain things. We both like free merchandise.
Yeah, we just had
we
cheap
like
pizza.
money and sponsors that will give us money to promote things. But I just mean like we're different, right? Like you're a vegetarian, I eat meat. There's like a bunch of different things we have. So like my point is that we don't also always agree on things necessarily, but we learn to agree to disagree with each other. And I think in society that's hard for people that are watching things or listening to things to be like, hey, I don't agree with this person, but like that's cool.
Yeah, people.
Everybody wants to fight you on everything and tell you why they're right or the way they think is right and how you're wrong. Well, it's like it's okay to agree to disagree and have a conversation about something and then walk away from that conversation and be like, oh, we're still the same as friends or like as whatever we were before, even though we have different opinions about this specific thing.
It's hard to, I think, do that now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just what life is like.
Yeah.
You argue about a certain topic, and then I don't know. You can tell me that the moon landing is fake, for example.
Yeah.
It's not going to change you as a person. To me, it doesn't matter. That's just an opinion you have.
Yeah.
I can't say, oh, I can't believe that idiot thinks the moon landing is fake.
Yeah.
Who am I to judge? I don't know myself. That's just the mindset I usually take. Hey, I have a point of view. I have my argument. Yeah. And if we just don't come to the same agreement, oh well, it is what it is. But that shouldn't affect my relationship
And that's like,
with
I
someone.
think what happens now too a lot.
By the way, the moon landing was fake.
I feel like it was.
I'm already
too.
picking a side.
We might already agree on that one.
Huh?
We might agree on that.
Really?
A lot of people
You're
think
one of those guys?
but a lot of people think it's real, and they give me reasons why they think it's real. But I just feel like, why haven't we done it since to that extent?
Because
and then they say their argument usually is because it costs too much money, but.
Fucking, have you seen mortgage prices?
But
cost too much money.
That's what I mean. Like I don't know.
I don't buy that bullshit.
You would think it would even be easier now with technology and all the stuff that we have.
Yeah, I think I was watching a video where they said that technology the computer system they use was like 1/1,000,000th of what a computer can do now, at that time.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I think for the.
But I've seen it. Like, I've seen it firsthand. Not the moon landing. I've seen it first. And if you guys keep wondering why I keep looking up on the TV and my eyes keep going there, I'm not cross-eyed or anything. I just keep looking at the screen rather than looking at the camera. We have a screen of
ourselves up at the same time with a little bit of a delay.
There's a time clicker on, then I'm trying to see how long we go, and then I'm like, okay, I look like I'm just looking at this and talking to the sky, but you guys are right there.
Just think about this. Imagine, I try to use common sense here. When was the moon landing? In
1969, I think, or 68.
And
I might be wrong. It might have been 67.
And they
at the end of the 60s.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
And they broadcasted this on television.
Yeah.
TVs were black and white back in the day. Tube TVs. So
have they never re-released it in color or anything? That they do things like that, right? They might have.
I mean, what I see just looks like, I don't know, complete bullshit. It just looks like a really bad production of the moon landing.
It also seemed like I don't know. I wasn't alive with them. I haven't done a lot of research. We probably shouldn't be talking about this so in depth.
We're not scientists.
We're not experts on this whole conversation.
No. We need a guy Neil deGrasse. Is that his name?
Yeah, like we need somebody. I need
to come tell us why the moon landing was real.
Carl Sagan, man, skepticism.
Well, no, I don't believe in it. I'm not going to let someone convince me.
I just mean like.
I just became one of those guys that we talked about.
I just mean like, at the time, I think they were trying to beat Russia or China in the race to get to the moon.
And people believed it.
So they were like, hey, we did it. And then there's that Red Hot Chili Pepper song that I love, where the moon landing was filmed in a Hollywood basement. And it's like, I believe that.
We are hitting a wrong audience. I can't say the wrong audience, but listen, man, I still want to go to the States. I still want to travel.
Well, I love America.
Yeah.
Hey, I went across the border. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I went across the border twice. There's 2 times I went across the border. In the last, I want to say, 5 months, and I don't go out that often anymore. So in the last 5 months, I've probably gone over the border 4 times. So 2 out of the 4 times, somebody recognized me as the wrestling classic.
That's nice.
That's weird.
Didn't tell you to get the fuck out of the country.
No, they were like, the second guy's like, because we got pulled in last week because a friend I went with. And the second guy's like, right after they pulled you in, like I went up to him, I was like, yo, why'd you guys pull in the wrestling classic? I'm like, oh, so like, I'm cool. I'm cool.
This is
like, why would you just pull in the wrestling classic?
Yeah, why would you pull in the wrestling
classic? I'm the most innocent guy. He posted about wrestling. Like, what do you think he's smuggling? But back to the moon landing stuff and all that, the agree to disagree thing. I've actually seen people like have fallings out or stop talking to people over different beliefs and political views. Some of the protests and things going on around the world today, religious beliefs. Like there's literally been people that do not talk to people anymore because they had opposite points of view.
But
And
they agree on everything else except for one.
They enjoy each other's
topic.
company. They know each other's friends and families. Their kids are friends. But they're like, F that guy.
Doesn't believe in the moon landing. I can't believe I can sit beside him.
If you're watching this and you're open-minded, I hope what you take away from this is that it's okay to agree to disagree on certain topics and still remain friends with somebody. Because I also think even if someone doesn't agree with it at the time, maybe either person on any side of the argument might change their opinion 5 years from that conversation you had. It might agree with you 5 years later.
Yeah,
it might flip-flop and the other person might agree with you 5 years later.
Look at us, right? You think Selena Gomez is the greatest musician on earth,
I never
right?
said that.
And I don't agree with that.
I never said Selena Gomez is the greatest musician on earth. You could have picked someone that I actually like listen to that nobody, like Madison Beer.
Who's that?
See? That's what I mean. But like, you know, I post her a lot, so you might think that and nobody else might think that.
Think what?
That she's a great singer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know. See, agree to disagree, though.
Yeah, I don't get too bothered by people's opinions. It's just their opinion. And I like when people ask me, I guess, about politics, I just tell them, I don't know and I don't care. Even if I give them my view, I'm like, I feel like I'm being forced to tell you what I feel or I think about two things or how many things I really don't care about. But I'll give you my opinion. But it doesn't.
Like, we just talked about the moon landing, and I don't want to talk too much about it because I felt like I wasn't too knowledgeable. I also try to tell people when they ask me for my opinion or something, I sometimes go into the opinion, which is being like, I don't have an opinion because I don't feel like I have enough knowledge on this topic. And some of the times when
But don't you hate that sometimes when people say that? When you ask them a question, you're like, listen, man, just tell me how you really feel.
But sometimes I don't know.
Okay.
Like, I just don't know.
Okay.
Like, you know, like, before this, you're like, hey, like, we were trying to discuss topics, and you're like, we talk about the Canadian political election, like, who are you going to vote for and stuff? And I'm like, I would need to prepare for that. I would need to, like, look into it because I actually don't have an opinion right now. I don't know what either side
Are
is
you
really,
going to vote?
I will, but I'm going to have to look into it because I'm like, I don't know what either side's really going to benefit me, right? And at the end of the day, the problem with a lot of opinions is people are selfish and they're going to see how it benefits them.
Of course.
And, like,
That's
what they're doing, right? In the States, there's a lot of people that voted for a certain someone because they're business owners and that person caters towards business owners.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? And, like, that's probably the only reason why they voted for him. They might not believe everything else
You got to vote for your best interest.
That's a thing, right? So opinions become subjective in that sense. They're not objective. It's hard to have opinions on things without a little bit of a bias.
But it's wild how the world gets so divided over two things that are probably not even beneficial to them.
Yeah.
On both sides. I always say your favorite color is green, but you're choosing between red and blue.
Yeah, that's basically what happens in those
is.
Situations.
But
yeah. Ovechkin though.
I'm not a big politics guy.
Ovechkin though, he what record did he break? Gretzky's record?
You kidding me?
I'm asking you to tell the people.
What record he broke?
What he broke?
The goals record, man. Yes. He scored the most goals.
The most goals ever?
History in NHL, yeah.
That's crazy.
Regular season.
How many goals is that?
I can't remember the exact number.
This guy's trying to ask me the hard-hitting questions. Doesn't even have the facts.
Listen,
doesn't even have the facts.
I barely know my kids' birthdays. What year
crazy.
They were born. All right.
What year were they born?
Who?
Your kids.
Pick one.
No, I'm gonna say oldest first.
2017.
Middle.
You know? Like, you know their years that they were born? Or could I just make something up?
I'm not hoping they're right. Your wife's going to watch us and they're going to judge you. So.
Yeah, 2022 and 2024.
I knew Ickviers because it was when Cody Rhodes returned.
Okay. Yeah, so I got that right. But I think 895.
I actually just didn't know Justin.
I think 895. I'm not a numbers guy. I don't remember stuff. I'm one of those guys that read a textbook and I'd have to read it again.
I'm happy for Ovechkin because I remember in my dying days of watching hockey. My dying days of like being a full-time hockey fan was probably around, what was the first lockout, 2004?
Yeah.
So the first lockout, I fell out, and it was just coincided with me starting high school, and like my life was changing. And
were you in high school back then? Like at the same time we were there?
You were in the same high school for 2 years.
So
I was in the school with my sister guys for 1 year, and then you guys were there for another year.
So if I was grade 11, would you have been there?
I would have been grade 8. And then when you were in grade 12, I was in grade 9.
Do you remember the Halloween contest?
Which one?
In your grade 8 year. In the cafeteria.
Know, I remember. If you jog my memory, I'll probably be like, oh yeah. What did the Latin girls wear? I'll probably remember.
I think one was wearing a Jasmine outfit.
Yeah, I remember.
A cop.
Yeah.
And the third one, I don't know.
Was the one Perez sister your age or you older?
Older.
Okay.
A couple years older. You remember that one? So the reason I bring this up is because remember they made the finals because it was the best Halloween costume contest, and the guy going up against him was my brother.
Well, you told me the story.
Yeah.
What'd your brother dress as?
Nothing. He wore a hockey jersey, put on a master lock, and just had like day 146 of the hockey lockout. And then it got to a point where, like, first the guys cheered the girls because they were good-looking girls, right? And then my brother, because he's like a little short, little fat kid, who because he was grade probably 9.
Yeah. He's the older one. He's going on. Yeah.
Yes, and then they were like, "Oh, look at this fat little kid, right? Just with the little NHL lockout sign."
Do you have a beard then yet?
No, he was like,
I've never seen
looked
him
like a
without
baby,
it.
right?
I haven't seen him without it ever.
And then
you know, if I saw him without it, I'd probably be like, oh my god, I do remember this guy in high
he was
school.
fat. He was fat kid.
No, but I probably would be like,
Possibly.
Because when I met him now, obviously he has the full like dotty. I want to
Yeah,
say a beard.
yeah,
You know,
well,
like,
yeah, because you guys have mutual friends.
yeah.
And he made the finals against the hot girls, and everyone turned on the hot girls. They started booing them.
Just because they're all upset hockey was in the lockout.
No, they just wanted the fat kid to win. So my brother got free tickets to the school dance.
This is some shit that would happen in a teenage movie where it's like the prom king and the
these
prom king
girls-
and like the hot girl and the hot guy think they're gonna win, but
Yeah,
like the
this-
fat
my
kid
brother
wins.
was
The
not
fat
a-
kid wins at the end.
He was
And
not
the-
a popular kid, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna say he was or wasn't. Like he's a normal kid, and they just booed the girls. Like they just imagine Cody Rhodes is being booed.
That's
You know, because Stone
hilarious.
Cold or someone came out, but he wasn't even Stone Cold level. But yeah, I remember.
I don't remember that at all, but that's funny.
But that's the last time you watched hockey. Might have been my
No,
brother's
it wasn't
fault.
the last time. So then they came back. Like, it couldn't be the last time. You want to know why it couldn't be the last time? Because I graduated high school, and it was the 2010 Olympics in Vancouver. And obviously I was all there for the Team Canada, whatever thing. And I think anytime the Canucks made the playoffs, I followed along. I was that fan.
Okay.
Right?
Bandwagon fan.
Bandwagon fan, 100%. And then 2011, I was all in, dude. I was the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega all in, bro.
Yeah, that was
and
fun.
Then they lost.
If you guys haven't noticed, we're from
Vancouver.
yeah. Well, no, we're not, but that's the team we
Born and raised in Vancouver, Grace Hospital. What
You're
up?
not
Grace Hospital.
born and raised in Vancouver.
Foreign Children's
You grew
Hospital.
up in Surrey.
What is Surrey?
What is Surrey?
Well, what is that? I never. Isn't that in England or something?
I don't know. It's weird how you ended up in the same high school as me for 2 years and you didn't even know what Surrey was.
That was in Vancouver, bro. Bend them one day.
Okay.
But maybe we'll have the Surrey experience on here or something.
You might be lucky enough for him to bless us.
But that all being said, what was I gonna say? The lockout, and it was back to Ovechkin. When I stopped collecting hockey cards in like 2006, 2007, that was the years of Ovechkin and Crosby being like the two top guys coming in, the two rookies that everyone was like, yo, Crosby, that's the future, Ovechkin's the future. And then what I saw from the bench as a spectator who was a bandwagon fan was Crosby reached so many great levels of success and so many great things happened to him, Stanley Cups. I mean, he was on a team with Lemieux guys and stuff. Like, he was just like hitting all the things people expected of him. And Ovechkin was never bad, but I just feel like in the last 5-6 years, he started finally getting those accomplishments he deserves.
Well, he was lacking the Stanley Cup. Yeah, he finally got it.
He beat this record. Like, he's finally getting those flowers that, like, because he was never bad at any point from my memory.
No, he was always great. I mean, but he was always just a goal scorer.
Yeah.
He always was just a goal scorer, but Crosby was like that skill guy that can lead a team, that captain, right? And Ovechkin, I mean, he can lead a team, but that guy was just wild. Like, he's just there to score goals.
But it's cool for him to get his accolades now, you know?
Yeah, I like Ovechkin.
Yeah.
I think he's a great
I don't
player.
always like the chosen guy. It's aggressive, right? Like, I don't always like seeing
You like CM Punk.
I like CM Punk.
He's a chosen guy.
I don't know if I'm a big Crosby guy, but I thought Ovechkin was a G. When everybody loved Joe Sakic, and I love Joe Sakic too, Peter Forsberg was kind of cooler to me. You know what I mean?
So I'm going to ask you, so you follow a little bit? You kind of know?
Yeah.
Okay, so who's winning the Stanley Cup this year?
Oh, I don't know that much.
Let's pick a team.
Who's in the
Say it right now.
Who's in the playoffs?
Let the viewers know
Who's in the playoffs? Give me 5 teams in the playoffs. And I'll pick one of them.
From where, the East or the
Give
West?
me the top 5 teams in the playoffs. I'll pick one.
Top 5? Oh, this might be hard because I barely know myself.
I would check on my
okay.
phone, but my phone's recording this.
Yeah, I don't know where my phone is. Florida is in there. Toronto's in
Florida
there.
won 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, no, last year.
Okay.
They beat Edmonton. Florida, Toronto, Washington. They're the best team, I think, standings wise. Edmonton, Dallas, Colorado, Winnipeg. Named you like 7 teams there, but I would say those are like the favorites to win the
I
cup.
would say Washington.
Wow, you think
I
Ovechkin
think
is going to
so.
carry the
I
team
think
into
so.
Stanley Cup glory this year? Okay.
I would be shocked if it was Toronto, but happy. But shocked.
Happy for Toronto?
I'd be happy for them.
Why?
I just feel like they haven't won a cup in ages.
They
decades.
haven't. That's the best
That's
part.
what I'm trying to say.
Why would you be happy for them?
Because then they finally won a cup. If I didn't live in Vancouver, if I was Canadian and didn't live in Vancouver, I'd be happy Vancouver won a cup. I'm always going to be a little biased towards the Canadian teams because we only have so many.
Actually, Ottawa and Montreal got in this year too.
Yeah, but Winnipeg would be cool. When's the last time they won anything?
No.
You know what I mean? I like Ottawa's won cups in the last couple of
What
decades.
about basketball? You watch NBA?
No.
You know anything about basketball?
I do.
You know who LeBron James is?
Yeah, he used to follow me on Instagram. I say happy birthday to him and stuff, and he likes it.
I say happy birthday to him, and he likes it.
He does. He'll like it. One time he said, "I said happy birthday, sir," and he said thanks with prayer hands.
That's pretty cool.
Me and LeBron, yo.
You been to Diddy parties?
Me and Diddy have the same birthday though. We got a party together. We got a birthday party together. You know?
LeBron's praying. Those are praying hands, right? That people usually.
Is it a high five or is it a praying hand?
Oh, I've only.
Because some people say it's a high five, but most people use it like a praying hand. And the reason why I say people use it as a praying hand is because all the people that write "rest in peace," they better not be high fiving.
Oh,
So I think the praying
I never
hand.
thought about that.
Like rest
let's
in
hope
peace.
that's not
Hope
clapping
hope
hands.
your soul. I hope you rest in paradise. High five. So I think they're praying hands. But I think initially they were supposed to be high five hands. Initially, like as an emoji, but I think because some emoji take a life of their own. Like that one that's like this. Wrestling fans use it as if it's a too sweet. You know what I mean? But really,
See, I've only been on social
like
media for a
this,
few
you know,
years,
like-
so I'm so
yeah,
behind.
it's like that rock and roll thing. You know, like yeah,
Gnarly.
yeah.
Is it gnarly?
Gnarly, hang tight. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah,
This was an interesting episode of Just Yappin.
yeah, playoffs are about to start, so
Shout out hockey and basketball. Who's gonna win the NBA finals?
who's gonna win NBA Finals?
Yeah, who's gonna be the NBA champions? NBA final champions.
I'm
Is that what they call it? Is it the NBA finals champions? Or the NBA champions?
NBA champions. Well, I guess they play in the
Like,
finals.
what do they
or
win?
The final? The NBA trophy. I think it's called the Larry O'Brien.
So they don't say like they're gonna go win the Larry O'Brien. They just say they won the NBA finals.
They're
I feel like that's the
they're
terminology.
NBA champions. They just say we're the NBA champions. Yeah.
Because the Super Bowl, you win the Super Bowl. Stanley Cup, you win the Stanley Cup.
In I don't know, basketball.
Golf, you win the Masters. You got
Basketball
the you got the green jacket or
Basketball
whatever
is
it's
Larry
called.
O'Brien. I think they changed one award. They have a Western Conference MVP now and an Eastern Conference MVP.
Which is fine, having MVPs.
I think they're called the Michael Jordan Award and
like hockey has another
Larry
secondary
Bird
award that's
or
named
something?
after like the Stan Smythe or something. I don't know what it's called. now.
Conn Smythe.
Yeah, Conn Smythe. Yeah. Stan
But
Smythe.
I'm gonna predict that the Boston Celtics are gonna win the NBA championship. They won last year.
I don't know anything about what's going on over there, but shout out to Boston. Is Golden State not good anymore?
Well, they're okay.
Lakers?
Yeah, they're good.
Weren't
They
the
got
Mavs
Luka,
doing good this year?
until they traded away their best player.
Oh, I don't know about that. And then
Yeah.
what happened with the Clippers? People were saying they're stacked right now.
Oh, they're. I think they've won like 7 games in a row or something. They've been winning. I only know because I read up on sports app. I don't follow it.
I just have a lot of friends that talk sports all the time. And I'm just around them.
Yeah.
And then I watch the highlights.
Oh,
every
I
once in a
guess
while.
I'll start watching.
Shout out
it.
Emily Agard, Sportsnet. Watch
Oh,
highlights.
yeah.
But
I guess you can fill us in on what's
Hopefully.
happening.
yeah.
But I don't really pay much attention. Just read whatever stat happens at the end of the night
Yeah.
and then go from there. Sports
And
isn't
on
the same.
social media, I see a lot of it. Like I said, it comes in my feed. It's sometimes you go on Twitter, people are talking about what's happening. I'm like, what's happening? Then it's like sports related. I'm like, oh, it's nothing to do with wrestling. Okay.
I've been paying more attention to Trump and the tariffs.
Yeah. If you've been affected by the tariffs, high fives. We'll see you all next time.